Welcome to the Painter's Business Podcast with Stephanie Stover. Let's roll. This is the Painter's Business Podcast, the show for growth-minded painting company owners who want to scale, profit, and dominate their markets. I'm your host, Stephanie Stover, and every week we bring you zero-fluff strategies, proven tactics, and behind-the-scenes insights from real business owners and experts who are getting it done in the field. And here's the deal. Every single episode gives you at least one practical, no BS action you can take today to grow your business. Whether you want more residential leads, safer crews, or bigger commercial contracts, this is where painters come to grow. Let's roll. Today I'm joined by Kyle Koelble,
Yep.
franchise owner at Everline Coatings. Everline Coatings is trusted by major brands such as Walmart, Tim Hortons, Home Depot, Costco, and tons of others, and was even featured on Dragon's Den. So, Kyle, tell me about your origin story. What was the light bulb moment for you? What made you want to start this franchise?
Yeah, so for us, it was my wife and I, we wanted to start our own business.
Hmm.
And we didn't really know where to start. So we had some friends of ours who were in franchising, and they connected us with a franchise broker who then we kind of gave them an idea of what we were looking for. So they brought a few brands to us, and Everline was one of them. So through the process and kind of meeting with their leadership team and seeing what their core values were, and then finding out that it was a kind of a recession resistant business and their core values kind of what they were all about, and that's where we landed on this business model.
Awesome. So today we are going to be talking about how property managers and business owners, how we get them to say yes to higher quotes. So what do property managers and business owners care about the most when it comes to getting quotes?
I think one thing is the speed of the quote.
Hmm.
They're very busy. They really want you, when you do make an appointment, they want you to show up and show up on time. I'm consistently shocked when people are saying thank you for showing up and showing up on time in our industry and in our market, especially. It seems like, when we show up, they're just like, thank you. The last couple people either didn't show up or didn't show up on time or didn't let them know that they were going to be late. So that gets you off on the right foot. And then also our goal is to get them a quote within 24 hours. So speed to get them the quote is very important to us. And then also the how thorough our quotes are.
Mm.
We're going to be everything's itemized. So they're going to know if we're offering a certain service, how many square feet we're going to be seal coating, how many lines we're going to paint, what color lines we're painting, things like that. So they really appreciate that. A lot of our competition, it's a piece of paper. Here's how much you're going to pay, and they really don't know what they're going to get for that. So they really appreciate
Right.
that part.
Okay. So what specific value do you believe justifies a higher quote when compared to your competitors?
Well, I think, like I just said, having that itemized
Mm.
proposal and also the detail within the proposal. So for us, we do line painting and we also do asphalt repair and some other items. And providing that detail proposal adds that value. Also, we in our industry, there's not a lot of warranties available, and some of the products that we use, we do offer a warranty, and that gives them a lot of sense of security, especially if they don't want to have to worry about is this product going to last, and
Mm.
that gets a sense of security that they don't have to worry about if the product's going to fail, and also if they don't when I do the walkthrough with somebody and I take that time to explain our process, what they can expect when our crew arrives, how we are going to schedule the job, how we're going to work around their schedule, they really appreciate that too. A lot of our competition doesn't do that to where they're going to come at their schedule and they're going to make it on their time. We work around their schedule. We understand that they have a business to run and we want to work around their schedule. And they really appreciate that. So that level of service, we are going to be more expensive, I would say 95% of the time. And they're willing, most of the time, they're willing to pay for that level of service.
Okay. So walk me through some of the effective techniques that you use for handling objections from potential clients around getting those higher quotes.
Yeah, I would say A lot of times our competitors, they will cut corners to where it's not an apples to apples proposal.
Hmm.
And the one thing I think is really important is to slow the customer down and just really take the quotes side by side and break them down. A lot of our competition, they will quote one coat of seal coat where all of the manufacturers recommend two seal coats, two coats of seal coat. And we always will do two coats because that's what the manufacturer recommends. That's the best quality product. So some people don't realize the difference. So you really do have to take the time to educate people and then also let them know what the outcomes are going to be. This one coat might only last you 1 year. Two coats is really going to last you 3 years. So yes, they might be 15% less or 10% less. But my product is going to last you three times as much. So, and you only have to close down your parking lot once every 3 years to get it done. It's less
Mm,
disruption. So there's a lot of value in that. So really
yeah,
just educating them that there's these little details that it's not just all about that lower price. There's a lot that comes attached with that lower price of cutting corners. Also, we're not perfect. And I tell people that. I'm like, we might not get it right the first time. I'll be the first one to tell you we make mistakes. The difference is when you call us and say, "Hey, Kyle, you guys actually missed this thing." I'll call you right back. Be very apologetic, and we will get our crew right back out there to fix it. And also, most of the time, we're going to realize our mistake before you realized it, let you know that we missed it, and tell you when we're going to be back to correct it. To where our competition's not going to do that. They might not call you back. They might not ever come back to fix it. And those are the big, big differences between us and the competition.
it's great advice. So what happens then if you are the first one to give the quote and you're not in a position where you can compare yours to the others with the client?
I always do ask, I'm very thorough and I try to build that rapport with the customer. And even before I leave, I prep them that we're not going to be the lowest. And I always ask for that opportunity to just explain the proposals and just for that comparison, just to make sure it is apples to apples. And if they do have to go just for budget wise for that quote, then I can take a look at ours and we're not usually going to lower our price, but there are some things that maybe we can take out of it that maybe they can do next year and they can still get that really high quality job that maybe they just push off one of the services to next year and they can
Hmm.
still get really good service, really high quality products, and then they just get some stuff done the next year and then they can fit into their budget. So really try to build that value, build rapport with the customer, and then prep them that we're not going to be the lowest proposal and just to
Hmm.
give us an opportunity to work with them to try to fit their budget.
Awesome. So, do you have can you think off the top of your head of any success stories where a potential client initially resisted a higher quote, but later, went through your process and ended up going with you guys?
Yeah, I can think of one. There's a real estate agent in our local market in downtown Sarasota. She went through and got four quotes. We were, um, I think 30% higher. She still called us back because I met with her on site twice. She called me back because she had some questions and she's like, Kyle, you guys are much higher. She's like, I really like you. I really like that you guys went and explained everything to me. I do have some more questions. So I went through the whole process again. And then we realized that there were some things that maybe were a little, that she didn't need that were maybe a little overkill.
Hmm.
So we kind of tweaked those a little bit. And at the end of the day, I think we were still 20 or 22% higher. And then she went with us because we were the only ones that came back a third time to walk through. We explained our process, and she said, you explained it in a way that didn't make me feel stupid. And we took the time to really make sure she felt comfortable with the service that she was going to get.
That's
So we did the
amazing.
work. And honestly, the project didn't go as smoothly as I would hope because during the project, it was during a holiday weekend and we were doing some asphalt repair. And when we went back to the asphalt plant to get more asphalt, they ran out. So we actually had to
Oh,
postpone till the next weekend, but we got right on the phone, explained to her, we're very sorry, it was out of our control. So we had to move it to the next weekend. She understood, things happen. We got the project done. She was happy. She left us a 5-star review and she stated all that. She said, They worked with us. The project didn't go as scheduled, but they kept us up to date. They did everything they said they did, and it turned out great. So that was a pretty good success story.
Oh, fantastic. Those are always the best reviews, the ones where, something happens and the client actually comes back to the review and tells the story and explains what happened, leaves you a 5-star review. People look at that and that really boosts your trust with other people who are reading those
Yeah, absolutely.
So what would you say is your biggest challenge right now in your business?
I would say there is a lot of competition in our area. And for us, it's hard for us to grow and it's hard to train that level of touch, I guess. We
Hmm.
want everybody to have that level of personal touch, but that is one of the hardest things to train. So, for the first 2 years, it's been me going out on all of the appointments. And, I'm the owner. We want this to be successful. And so it's hard because it's been successful and now we want to expand. So now we have to train and pick the right people. And I think
Hmm.
people is always going to be that biggest challenge to expand and then pick the right people that are going to continue that tradition of really doing it the way that we want to.
And where do you feel like you are in that process? Do you feel like you are getting close to where you want to be?
I would say at this point, probably not. We're kind of in the situation of
Sure.
we're getting very busy. So we're kind of picking, do we want to hire more crew to do more of the work, or are
Mhm.
we trying to set ourselves up for the sales? Which I think we're on more of the crew side right now because it is our busy season. So we have to kind of capitalize on that. And then as we start to slow down, I think that's when we're going to emphasize more on the trying to get the sales process and find that right person when we just have more time. I think right now we're so busy with everything that it's hard
Mm,
to focus on finding that right person.
that makes sense. When does your slow season start?
It's gonna probably around the end of October is when
Hmm.
it starts to slow down. And there are signs that this year it might not slow down
Really?
for us
Well,
as
that's
much
good.
as last year. Yeah. Last year we had a hurricane, actually had two hurricanes, one at the end of September and one in the middle of October that really slowed us down. So if we don't have any of those, it might not slow down as much and just more of a little bit.
Oh, good. Well, that's exciting. So, one of my last questions here. If you had a magic wand that you could wave to solve any one problem in the business, what would it be?
Guess I would say this, yeah, to have another salesperson that does it similarly to me. I know it's not going to be the same, but 85% the same. So to find that person and
So, before we hop off, do you have any last piece of advice or message you'd like to leave the listeners with?
yeah, I think going out on appointments and meeting with people, I think in this industry, I think it's not very much of a like salesy type of role.
Hmm.
Be yourself, be personable, be kind, and just be thorough and answer all of their questions. And it goes a long way of answering the phone, calling people back, and you'd be surprised how much um, people really appreciate that.
Awesome. And where can people follow you or get in touch?
For us, I'm on LinkedIn. I wish I had my LinkedIn. I don't have it off the top of my head.
We can
And
link
then
to it, no
also,
problems.
okay. And then our website is everlinecoatings.com /Southwest
Perfect.
is our section.
/Southwest. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. You can find Kyle at everlinecoatings.com /Southwest FL. And if you want to keep up with what we're doing, hit subscribe, follow, or share this with somebody who needs it. And if you're doing over $1 million a year and want help scaling, go to passionatemediamarketing.com. Catch you next episode. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. This is the Painter's Business Podcast with Stephanie Stover.